Start my truck, let's all jump in. Here we go together. Nice cool breeze and big palm trees. I tell you, life don't get no better. Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now.
Hi viewers, and thank you for joining us. In today's episode, we will be reviewing the Hyundai Tucson. In our first segment, let's talk Car of the Week with Nita Stadler. And thereafter, we have Ashley Roos, who will be sharing information about battery leaks and what causes this unfortunate situation and what to do in the situation. And then, viewers, today we have another incredible, intelligent and inspiring woman with us in studio. Tenielle Merth is our guest of honor in our talk of the town. So viewers, let's get started with our Car of the Week.
Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. I go, ane. Chucking more fina, anane. Chucking more fina.
Hi Nita.
Hi Dee.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us again.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so Hyundai has become popular and occupies a large segment in the motoring market. The Koreans don't have any problem in delivering, seeing as they are the owner of the largest vehicle production plant in the world and are manufacturing more cars than ever before. Recently, buyers are purchasing larger SUV-like vehicles instead of traditional budget cars like sedans and hatchbacks. And now, in comes the Tucson to sweep in and save the day with its stylish looks, generous offerings, and effortless drivability. So, Nita, can you tell us a bit more about the Tucson? What is it all about, and why does it have such a big hype around it?
Certainly, Dee. Okay, so let me explain it like this. Think of the Tucson as a middle child. It's stigmatized for always being unliked and forgotten. Middle children have it the worst, but the Tucson is all about crushing stigmas and embracing new ways of thinking. Sibling between the new Creta and the larger loved Santa Fe, the Tucson is a good blend of both. It offers decent amounts of space, has good offerings and features, and is easy to shuffle around town. And this is why I think it makes a wonderful medium-sized family companion, and I'm positive that it will definitely fulfill their life with its unique and adoring sparkle.
Okay, speaking of sparkle, Nita, the Tucson, in my opinion, is a serious looker. Can you please tell our viewers more about that?
Yes, Dee. Well, Hyundai has recently gone out of their way to make the Tucson attractive to the eye, with a chrome-strip grille, a larger front spoiler, and a set of 19-inch alloy wheels. The side profile is also adorned with notable side sills, a prominent seam just above the handles, and a curvaceous roofline to guarantee that it will be noticed when parking next to your neighbor in the parking lot. The fun continues to the rear. It doesn't have one, or two, or three. D, it has 4 exhaust pipes glued onto the behind. To further its robust and athletic design at the back, a clear line runs from the wheel arch to the tail light, which I absolutely adore. The headlights feature LED and daytime running for additional assistance when patrolling the roads of South Africa.
Okay, so just even talking about it and listening to you has me excited. But Nita, what does the Tucson have to offer inside?
Well, the Tucson has some nifty gadgets to add to the comfort of the driving experience, such as a panoramic sunroof and a glove box cooling. Seats are clad in leather. It is also worth mentioning that the driver and passenger seats have an electric adjustment.
Okay.
Overall, I like the Tucson's interior feel. It's comfortable and its spaciousness makes it feel laid back, which is exactly what you need to give you peace of mind to steer this beast wherever you want it to go.
That's awesome, Nita. And I also know that the Tucson is quite clued up with tech and features. So please maybe tell us more about that.
Certainly, Dee. The Tucson is filled with advanced technology such as electronic stability program, vehicle stability management, downhill brake control, and hill start assist control. To ensure that every one of these journeys is not only safe but comfortable too, Hyundai has equipped it with smart key with push button start, fully automatic dual zone air conditioning, electronic windows with a one-touch feature for the driver, and an automatic up and down. The infotainment system is equipped with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and can be accessed via the steering wheel's toggles. Hyundai has made sure that the Tucson has more than enough features to suit everyone's liking. Worrywart mom will find plenty of safety specs. The kiddies will love the infotainment system. And dad will brag to all of his friends about the cool cooling box.
Okay, so you just said Tucson. By the way, it's Tucson. However, I've noticed many people calling it Tucson. That's okay. So you enjoyed it?
Definitely.
Okay, awesome. So in terms of the drive, viewers, let me start off by saying that it has a claimed fuel consumption of 7.9 liters per 100 kilometers. And after having my turn with it, I must say that it's a really good figure for the amount of performance you get from it. Okay, this is due to the 2-liter engine that cranks out 131 kilowatts of power and 400 Newton meters of torque. Okay, the steering wheel is nicely balanced in the fact that it's light enough to make city driving easy, but you won't be swept away with a mighty gush on the highway. The Tucson is stable, confident, and ready for a challenge. Okay, so driving aids such as vehicle stability management will keep you glued further, especially on dangerous roads, and HSC will help you with the tricky clutch control when pulling away at an incline. Overall, the Tucson had me mightily impressed with its handling, considering its sizable dimensions and the general benefits you get for it. Okay, so the fact that you won't be paying through your nose to own is just another tick behind its trustworthy name. Okay, up next, we have our Talk Tips specialist, Ashley Roos, who will be telling us more about battery leaks and the common battery problems that we may face.
Wind up, go down, wind up, go down. Twist your body backward. We go left, left, we go right, right. Turn it around and wind up, go down again.
Hi Ash, thank you so much for joining us again.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Diane. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Can you hear that frog in my throat?
Yeah.
It's still there. Okay, so Ash, there's one important thing we encourage our viewers to get into the habit of doing, and that's taking a few minutes every week or two to pop the bonnet of your car and have a look inside. It's a great way to spot or even preempt any problems or concerns that need attention. It might be during this time that you spot a leak on your battery. What would you do in this situation? Ash, could you please maybe tell us a bit more about this?
Yes, Dee. Okay, let me just start off with a warning. The liquid inside your vehicle's battery is a mixture of sulfuric acid and water, which is dangerous to the environment, and if it comes into contact with your skin, it can also be harmful. If you do spot a battery leak, try to get a professional to look at it. They will be best be able to tell you if it can be repaired or what caused the leak to begin with. If it isn't fixable, they will be able to quote you on a replacement. Remember, battery acid is harmful and shouldn't be ignored. Most batteries tend to leak due to age and wear and tear, so it is important to keep an eye on it.
Okay, so Ash, now that we know how serious it is, could you maybe tell our viewers how they can spot a battery leak?
Certainly, Dee. There will either be a physical crack on the battery where fluid is seeping out, the battery looks bloated or somewhat swollen, or a greenish corrosion around the terminals. A rotten egg smell is evident, or in the case of an older battery that requires distilled water top-ups, you may notice that it requires topping up more often.
Okay, Ash, what causes a battery to leak in the first place?
It could be a number of factors. Batteries have a maximum capacity and number of volts that can enter and exit to power it. The regulator in your alternator does just what it says it does, which is regulate or monitor the amount of voltage moving in and out of your battery. If this is not functioning properly, it cannot control the voltage in your battery either. This irregularity then causes the electrolytes in the battery to boil, When it does, the sulfuric acid and water mixture will overflow and leak out of the battery. It could also be the battery charger. Both overcharging and undercharging is harmful for your battery because the irregular energy flow of your battery causes it to leak through the cell caps on top of the battery. Did you know that extreme temperatures have an effect on chemical fluids and your battery is no different? Severe heat causes your battery's plates to expand and extreme cold temperatures causes your battery plates to squeeze. Both scenarios lead to possible battery leaks.
Okay.
Speaking of, this one should be quite obvious. If there's a crack on the battery itself, it is bound to leak. This is why if you do some off-roading on rough terrains and rocky terrain, you should inspect your battery afterwards. That could potentially result in any leaks.
Sure, okay. Thank you so much for yet another enlightening talk tip, Ash. I really appreciate it, and I hope our viewers learned a thing or two today. And up next, we have our talk of the town, Tenielle Merth, Group HR Manager at Eastval Motors. Tenielle is a self-aware and strong woman who understands people's emotions and has an impeccable way in how she relates to others. Her intelligence is what makes her empathetic to situations, and I guess this is why she excels in the role that she plays for Eastval Motors. Okay, so even though Tenielle is highly skilled and experienced, her passion for what she's doing and who she's serving is what elevates her work to a whole new level. Her love for what she does makes her innovative and constantly has her striving for better results. For me, spending time in Tenielle's presence is pleasurable and worth every moment. So let's share a bit of this dynamic woman with you. Tenielle Merth, brought to you by Sariti Solutions.
My bestie and your bestie sit down by the fire. Your bestie says she want parties, so can we make these flames go higher? Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. I go, I need.
So hi Tenielle, thank you so much for joining us today, and I just love having you here in studio with me.
Thank you for having me, Desh.
Oh, you're welcome. So Tenielle, let's start off. Tell us about yourself and how, where, and when did your journey in motoring begin?
Okay, so I'll go a little bit back to the beginning.
Okay.
I did my LLB in Durban at UKZN. My 4-year degree. I then did 2 years of articles. I then did my board exams, qualified as an attorney, thought that I was going to go into practice on my own, and then figured out that I wanted to actually be in corporate.
Right.
Then put my CV out there, and I was lucky enough to be asked to come for an interview at Eastval Motors. Went for the interview, then obviously they saw something that they figured that could gel with what was going on. Obviously researched the company before getting to the interview, and a lot of their values and things really seemed to gel with me. So I was quite excited. They confirmed I was successful. I started off initially as in the legal advisory role, and then later on that blossomed into the position that I'm in now as the HR manager. So Eastval, I don't know if people know, but we are a group of dealerships in Mpumalanga. And so we've got one dealership as well in the northwest in Potchefstroom.
Okay.
And so that's what really makes us different from the mainstream Johannesburg. We're out there, we're doing things. Happy to be in the industry.
Yes. And obviously, Tenielle, you are, you obviously enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
So tell us more about the role that you play in.
Yeah. So right now I'm the group HR manager in Eastval. So I'm responsible for all the dealerships, overseeing the dealerships. Part of what I do is obviously recruitment, sourcing talent, some sort of training, and you have the odd occasion where
Yes.
you've got to do the work of doing not so nice work of doing
Right.
hearings and
Yes.
getting things done. But everybody's got a job to do, and that's what it is. Yeah.
And so tell me, as a woman in motoring, have you faced any challenges?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I think it goes for all industries.
Okay.
So yeah, coming from the legal industry, I think which is more male dominated.
Yes, yes.
So coming in, my challenge or coming into the motor industry wasn't so, I wouldn't say it was so bad as what it was in the legal industry. And I was lucky enough to be surrounded by powerhouses, I would call them, really men that were open-minded and saw the value in promoting women in business.
Yes.
And so I would, where I am today is only because of my CEO, Clive Blechman, who constantly researching best practice, constantly looking at what companies out there are doing.
Yes.
And it's only because of his open-mindedness that, he's got women on his executive. Then I've got Ellen Govender, who actually is from Durban as well, who was the first person that saw my CV. Yaku Talyard, Cornelius Kukamur. I mean, these are the people that really had an impact on my journey. So, yeah.
Okay, so you are in an executive role, I would say, at the moment. What are your future aspirations? What would you like to accomplish?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of responsibility, not just the HR manager, but in the role that you're in. I mean, any woman in industry, you've got a big responsibility because there's people coming behind you, and you've got to make a way for them as well. I mean, if people didn't make a way for me, I wouldn't, have the things that I have and accomplished what I've done. So I think it's really important, number one, to actually make a way for people coming into the industry.
Yes.
I think post COVID, one of the things that we're going to see a lot of is the unemployment spike. We haven't really begun to see it now, but I think it's something that's coming in the next 6 to 12 months. And so, I mean, if you think about it, people losing their jobs, the last thing they're thinking about is buying cars. So it's not just, for example, the government's problem. It's not just anyone else's problem. It's primarily ours as well.
Yes.
So one of the things that I really would like to do and to see happening is more skills programs, bringing more people into the industry. As people are leaving because of the effects of COVID, it's our responsibility to bring new blood into the industry as well.
Certainly, Tenielle. Tenielle, what transformation in terms of women taking their places in motoring South Africa would you like to see happen in South Africa?
Definitely more women in management role. I think if anyone knows or been in some kind of contact with a man, we have two different ways of thinking, very different ways of thinking, and I think that's what makes women in business such a different spin and such a special thing.
Yes.
So I definitely would like to see more women in managerial roles and having a proper impact on business. I think we've got a different flavor to bring to everything.
I agree with you 115%. So, Tenielle, that's an interesting career right there, and you are definitely someone's role model already, and I see great things happening for you in motoring South Africa. But tell us, who is Tenielle at home?
Oh, so yeah, I'm a mother, stepmother to two beautiful boys, 8 years old and 5 years old. They really keep me on my toes and running around. So yeah, when I'm at home, I'm busy with homework, I'm busy with cooking, and I'm not sort of, when I get to work, you sort of need to be like the dominant person and know your story. I'm like totally the opposite at home.
Right.
And what do we do? My husband and I are I'm lucky to have met a kindred spirit. So we're both into gardening. He's more of the grass type guy, and I'm more of the flower. I'll be busy with the flowers. Yeah,
Okay.
you can do the
Okay.
the mowing.
Okay, I think you do a bit of yoga as well.
Yeah, I'm getting into it. So
Okay.
yeah, started Googling and YouTubing
Right.
yoga. So yeah, you'll see me in the next year or two. I'll have my own channel.
Yay! Well, then you can come back and we'll promote that.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, thanks, dear.
Okay, so you know about the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards. You
Yeah.
were actually nominated for a very prestigious category, one of the senior categories, and so I'm very proud. Congratulations,
Thank you.
and thank you for to the person that nominated.
Yes.
Tenielle, but how do you actually feel about a platform like the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards?
Yeah. So firstly, that was the last thing I was expecting, because I mean, when you look at people who have been 20 years in the industry, and I'm this baby coming in with my 6 years behind my belt. So yeah, I it first came as a shock, because I've got a lot of work still to do in the industry.
Yes.
And so yeah, what do I think about the platform? I think it's amazing. I think that women before in motoring have never been given such a platform or recognition for the things that they do bring to the industry. So I think it's quite important. I don't know of any other platform like this that does this. So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm in. I'm all the way in.
Well, we love to have you as part of our network, and we thank you once again for being here, Tenielle.
Yeah.
And we wish you all the luck with the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards and in your career.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of how far you've come, and that you are taking your place in this male-dominated field. Well
Thank
done.
you. Thanks, Thanks.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I think we've covered it all.
Okay.
I'm happy.
Okay, and I guess that's the end of yet another incredible episode of Talk the Talk with me, Desh. Viewers, thank you so much for watching, supporting and following us. Also, please follow our Facebook pages and visit our online motoring magazine for more content regarding vehicle reviews and tips. You can also purchase your next vehicle. We have thousands of vehicles advertised on Women Talk's vehicle listing page. And viewers, we only advertise for accredited dealerships nationwide. Ladies, millions of women are still experiencing discrimination in their daily lives. Women are not granted equal access to something as simple as owning a driver's license. In a world where more than 30% of women are still being affected by gender-based violence, it's crucial for us to support and fulfill where authority is falling short. That's why we shouldn't look past or try to defend any acts of prejudice and injustice. Rather, we should raise our voice and start asking important questions. By doing this, we are standing up for ourselves, fellow women, and the forthcoming generations, because we are stronger together. And as the saying goes, right here on this mug, empowered woman, empower woman. That is why, ladies, the question should never be, who's going to let me? It should always be, who's going to stop me?
Wow. Wow. Love that.
Start my truck, let's all jump in. Here we go together. Nice cool breeze and big palm trees. I tell you, life don't get no better. Talking about hey now.